crew. My name's Jennifer, and along with Judy and Margaret, we've been planning some more craft and art activities that you can do from your homes. The rest of the team say hi, so that's Jo, Janet, Di, Lucinda and Susie, and Emma in the Mousehole Cafe can't wait till she can be cooking you some more of her homemade scones soon. The inspiration for this week's session is taken from the Russian artist Kandinsky, so we'll learn a little bit more about who he was. So Vasily Kandinsky was a Russian artist. He lived in Moscow at the end of the 19th and beginning of the 20th century, and he pioneered the idea of abstract art, so really experimenting with colours. And the one that we focused on is called the concentric circles, which aren't really actually meant to be taken as a picture on their own. They are really evidence of how Kandinsky used colours and experimented with how they look next to each other. So these are two that we've done and made into cards that you could send. And again, those vivid colours look really great. Another one, if you look up Kandinsky, is where he used tree forms as well, and with his concentric circles at the end, which look really eye-catching. So I'm going to show you now how you can maybe have a go at making your own Kandinsky concentric circles picture. So Kandinsky experimented with colours an awful lot, and his concentric circles is really a study of how different colours react when they're put next to each other. And he used the idea of complementary colours that have an outstanding effect on each other on the page. And to explain that, I'm just briefly going to show you the colour wheel. So on the colour wheel, we've got the primary colours, so that's red, yellow and blue. And when you mix those together, you get the secondary colours. So yellow and blue make green, yellow and red make orange, and red and blue make purple. And you can experiment with that at home if you've got paints. And the colours that are opposite each other are called complementary colours. So red is opposite green, they're complementary, and orange opposite blue, and purple opposite yellow. And you can see how Kandinsky experimented with those colours in his concentric circles. And in this example that we had to go with, you can see that how it really affects in terms of the background or the colours that are used. So here we've got the pinky purple in the red, and the same here, but look at the different effect with the yellow background or the pinky background. And these were just done with highlighter pens, so you get really nice effects and really nice colours. And you can see that the circles aren't perfect, so they're just drawn by hand. And if you look online at any of Kandinsky's examples, you can see that they're often offset or slightly wonky. So not like Macintosh last week, where his were much more geometric. These are much more hand-drawn and a bit more natural. And there's another one where you can see how they were used on the tree to create this lovely effect as well. So I'm going to show you how you can play around with this idea. So you need a piece of paper, a pencil, a ruler and some colours. So you can use a bigger piece of paper. You could use really big, like A3 if you wanted, and then divide that up into a grid. You can go by 4 squares by 12, or you could go 4 squares by 3 to make 12, or 4 squares by 5 to create 20. I've just gone simple here to show you today. So I've just taken my page and divided it into 3 going that way and half to create the 6 boxes. And then each box you have a go at making your circles. And as I was saying, they don't have to be perfect. They can be kind of almost like an egg shape if you want to. Try not to go over the edge like that. Okay, so those are circles, and then you can decide what you want to experiment with. So I think I'm going to go for reds and greens in this one. So I'm going to choose those colours. I'm going to start off with red in the middle. And then I think I'm going to go for the lighter green next. Now I'm using pens for this, but it's really effective as well with paints, because then you can actually experiment. You can just start with the primary colours, the red, the blue and the yellow, mix those to make your secondary colours, and then experiment with them on the page. I'm just using pens today. I'm going to go for the red again. Of course, if you haven't got paints or pens, you could use crayons, or what's really effective as well, if you have them, if you're lucky enough to have them, is oil pastels. Don't know if you've ever tried oil pastels before, but they make really bright, vivid colours, and then you can blend them a little bit as well, so you can almost experiment with making some of those colours actually on your page. There we go. And then this time I'm going to go for the darker green. Is that darker green? Yeah, slightly darker green around the edge. Good. That's finished. Now I could decide to go with the red to finish off, but I think then it might lose some of the effect of the circles here. So I'm going to go for a contrasting colour for the edge. And because I use yellow here, I think I'm going to choose to do the yellow in the opposite corner. So I'm going to go for yellow and see what effect that has. And you can see it reacts there with the blue on the edge of the other square, as well as the green it's next to. And it kind of makes my eye be drawn to this one as well, which was the complementary colours there, the yellow and the purple. Okay, so that was just to show you one of them, but you get the idea of how you can build that up to create your own picture. And as I say, you could do it on a really big piece of paper, or you could go for a smaller and create some of these designs, which are really lovely for sending for cards for people. So those are the Kandinsky circles. So the next idea is taken from, again, inspired by Kandinsky's idea of circles and concentric circles, to create these amazing mobiles. So you can see from this one, they're just odd bits of paper that you might be able to find, some of them matching, some of them contrasting. And before you stick them on, you can experiment with which colours go together. And if you've got any stickers or buttons or anything, or beads, you can decorate the string or stick them on. So this is one that's taken more pastel colours. Or here's another example where we've decided to offset the circles, which looks quite effective, and it's taken the purples and yellows and really experimented with how they mix together. And then on the back you can see it's just another piece of paper to put on there to hide the string, just to make it look a bit neater. But you could actually make more and back the circles up back to back, so that you didn't have that plainness on the other side. But that's up to you, you can be creative with that. Another one is just taking one of the circles, and this creates a really nice effect, and that is actually just pictures taken from a magazine and stuck on. So here different shades of pinks and greens, and on this side purples and blues and pinks, and that's stuck onto an old CD. But again, you could use maybe thick card and stick these on, and they're just stuck on with Pritt stick, and then some wool tied around, and it creates a really nice mobile. You could maybe, if you've got them, put varnish on them and hang them in the garden in the nicer weather. They would look really nice hanging from trees. So I'm going to show you though how to make one of these ones just now, these are multiple circle mobiles. Okay, we're going to look next at making the circle mobiles, again inspired by Kandinsky and his circles. So this one is the one that I was showing with the pastel colours, so you'd be hanging out this way. And as you can see, we've used a few papers and then experimented with how they look with each other. So this one, how that reacts with the yellow on one side and the red on the other, whereas here next to the pattern blue and the pink. So you can do it like this one where it's slightly random colours and see how they react to each other, and then finishing with the buttons. And then on the other side it's just taken a plain bit to stick on the back. The one I'm going to show you today is how we did this one, which is very similar. We found it was quite difficult. It's not always easy to find different colour paper at this time, but actually what we found worked well. These are just bits taken from magazines, and if you've got plain next to the pattern, it does create a really nice effect. And then we happen to have some of these doilies, so that worked quite well from the back. So for this one, you're going to need a pencil, scissors, some glue, objects that are round to draw around to make your circles, and then stickers and shiny things to finish it off, and some kind of twine or string or ribbon to hang it from. So we decided to do 4 circles for the mobile, but you could do less, you could do 3, or you could just do 1 like this one that I showed you, or more. It's entirely up to you. But I'm going to show you how I just made one of them. So first of all, the size that you want to start off with. I'm going to use the yellow. So draw around something that's the largest circle first, and then cut that out. Now, I'm just using these plain ordinary scissors, but if you've got any of the scissors that are crimping scissors, or some of those ones that are craft scissors with wiggly lines, this works particularly well for this craft. So if you've got any of those, that would be great. Okay, so that's your first circle. And then the next layer, I'm going to use just this from magazine. And I thought this bit would look quite nice and effective, which I think is part of a garden. So for this bit, I need my next size up. I'm going to go to the edge so I don't waste the paper. Okay, and then I'm going to cut that out. The lines are a little bit difficult to see with the pencil, but I can just about make them out. There we go. Now, to create a little bit of a pattern, what we did on the edge one, I just went all the way round with the scissors like this, just to create a little bit of a rougher edge to give it a bit of a pattern rather than just plain lines. But again, that's entirely up to you. You might prefer it just straight. And they don't have to be regular if you don't want them. Okay, just creates a little bit of an effect there. And then for this one, I have got some of these craft scissors. So if you haven't got these, don't worry, but if you have, they just add a little bit of a different effect. There we go, all the way round. Oh, it's actually quite nice on the other side too. Bit of glue, go. Stick that onto there. So that's 2 circles. For the next one, I had some of this tissue paper, and I've actually got some pink there, and I got some more which was greens. So you could look at them and think, which one do I prefer? I think I'm going to go for the pink ones, but again, that's when you can use your judgment or whatever you prefer to create the different effects. You could have the other one with a green. So for this one, I used a glass to draw around. There we go. Cut that. Okay. A little bit of glue. Stick that on. Okay. For the next one, I'm going to take some of that yellow that I used before, and actually I'm just going to cut the circle around just freehand, I think, like Kandinsky. Is that about right? Yeah. A little bit of glue. That in the middle, and then to create the star, I had some of this purple left over, which actually picks out a little bit of purple in the magazine there. And if you've got these are great as well, because I didn't have any star stickers, so I just used this hole punch. There we go, to create a star. That in the middle, and then if you've got anything shiny or a bead or a button or something like that to go in the middle, that would be great. I did have some of these diamante stickers. I'm going to stick that in the middle. So there we go, that's my first circle. Quite pleased with that. Now when you've got as many as you want, then you can stick them onto ribbon or string. So I've got some ribbon here, so all you need to do for that is turn it over, stick your ribbon on the back, grab some tape, hang on, forgot my tape, there we go, stick that onto the back. And if you want, you could just leave it like that, but if you're wanting to hide the tape on the back, then I had some of these purple doilies that I just happened to have, and I cut it to a smaller size so we can stick that on the back there, just to hide the ribbon on the back, and so it looks nice on that side, and then I popped a sticker on. But as I said, what you could do if you wanted to is you could have 2 circles and put them back to back to create that effect. There we go. So that's how you make your mobiles. So have fun with that. And the last idea for this session spinning around are these spinning tops. So this one here with the lovely rainbow effect. You probably can't see from that. I'll do it again with the camera on the top and you can see it. So there's that one, and then another one here that we've done with pom-poms. So they again, you can experiment. We've done them with rainbows because lots of people are thinking about rainbows for the NHS and key workers at the moment. But you could again use some of the ideas from Kandinsky, looking at primary or secondary colours or complementary colours, and really experiment with what they look like when they're standing or what happens when they're spinning. So I'm going to show you now how to make your own spinning top. Hello, so finally the spinning tops. There we go, there's one. Whoop, and another one. There we go. And apart from you can see how far, or how long I should say, you can spin yours for. It's really lovely to experiment with the different colours as well. And we've gone for rainbow colours on these ones. Okay, let me show you how to do these then. So first of all, you need some thick card. So I've gone for an old box here, and then something to draw around to create your spinning top. So just an old pot here. And then cut that out. Now, I managed to find some white card, but if you could only find thick card that was, say, brown or had got patterns on it, and you didn't want that, then what you could do is then just take a plain piece of paper, so something like this, if you wanted to, draw again around it and stick that on the top to create a colour. So that's just an idea if you can't find something that's the colour that you want. Okay, now for my pattern. So the one I showed you was stripes across, but I thought a different one. I was going to show you how we can maybe do the colour wheel on here and see how that would look. So we draw a line going down and then another one across to create 4 sections, and then divide those up again across here and across here to create 8 boxes. And then we're going to colour those in a bit like the colour wheel. So I'm going to start with red over here. Okay. And purple. And then next come blue. Okay, quite dark blue. Then turquoise. That kind of lovely, one of my favourite colours, which is kind of a cross between blue and green. And next would come green. And as we get to the other side of the colour circle, you can begin to see those complementary colours opposite each other, like I showed you earlier. So the red and the green. Okay, next is going to be yellow. So we've got the yellow opposite the purple, these complementary colours. And then finally orange. Now, as you can see, I've got one colour left, so I just went to try and find a kind of lighter orange first and then a darker one, so I hope that's worked, just to finish off the circle. Good. There we go, there's our colour wheel. So, I I know it's not always easy to find the things that you want, so I just wanted to show you an alternative way. If you didn't have shiny stickers that you could put on, if again you've got some of these stampers, you can create your own, or you could even just try and cut them out if you wanted. So I was going to go for hearts on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. And then a bit of glue. Stick those on. Around the edge, one there. And there. There. And then the last one. There we go. And then a sticker in the middle. I've got a purple sticker for that. Okay, then to finish off, you need your stick that's going to go through the middle. So this one is a cocktail stick, just with the end trimmed off. I'm going to use a barbecue skewer. So you'll need to get a grown-up to help you with this bit, because it's a little bit tricky. So what you need to do is, before we cut the end off, we need to put it down through the hole. So for this bit, if you've got some Play-Doh or plasticine or blue tack, put that underneath there so that you're not going to poke yourself or poke through onto the table. Put that on top of it, so feel it's kind of in the middle, and then you take your barbecue skewer and then just poke it down into the blue tack like that. Put it up and it should come through, and then being careful not to poke your fingers, poke that through to the other side. And then, as I say, you need a grown-up for this bit. Just chop the end off like that so it's not too spiky, and then chop as much as you want off at the top, so about that much is fine. There we go. And there we have another spinning top. Now, when you play with this, you might find, as you keep spinning it and experimenting with it, eventually this hole will get bigger. So what you can do is put some PVA glue, as you can see on this one. If you put some PVA glue around there and leave that for a while till it's set, then it should stop that happening, so you can find that your spinning top will last longer. So again, have fun with those, and we'd love to see your pictures of them. Well, thank you for joining us for this session of the Abingdon Museum Crafting Crew called Spinning Around. We hope you've been inspired with some of our ideas. We'd love to see any of your creations, so please check on the museum website and send any photos in and we can display them there. That would be amazing. Next week, our session is called, I'm just checking, it's called Weave Away, and it's all to do with looking at how you can weave wool or string or ribbon or even natural objects together, natural materials, to create artwork and experiment with different colours and different materials. And the things that you might be looking to collect are wool, ribbon and string, maybe even different colours papers, we could have a go with those. Card, sticks from the garden, or if you're out on your walk, some nice sticks to create a frame, so the sticks want to be about so big or smaller. Lollipop sticks, if you've got them, or if not, just sticks that are that kind of length and shape, and tape and glue and all of those usual things. So we hope to see you next time, and take care.